Okay, it seems to look a little better. And we're back. All right, so it looks better. Let's see how long it looks better for. Trying to do two-handed things with one hand is not easy. All right. And over here we have Sapphire lounging. And so she, if you can't see her, she is up on her platform.
Sapphire is a female white tiger who was born approximately 2010. She arrived at Big Cat Rescue in August 2015. Her owner had received many federal law violations for improper care of the cats without consequence. But when he failed for years to comply with a very basic 2012 Ohio law that just required decent caging and registering the animals, the Ohio Department of Agriculture seized the cats and sent Sapphire and 3 other cats to us so that they would receive proper care for the rest of their lives. When you hear people say they are breeding white tigers to preserve the species, that is a lie. There is no species of white tiger. The white coat is actually a genetic defect that often carries with it other defects like poor vision. In addition, white tigers in this country all descend from one white tiger brought to this country in 1960 and are horribly inbred, resulting in more genetic flaws. Sapphire is no exception. She is severely cross-eyed, a very common defect. This causes her to sometimes attack her own back legs, likely thinking another tiger is behind her.
All right, serious question. Yeah, I'm kind of Eleanor. I completely agree with you on that one. You know, I'm not even gonna touch it. You guys answered it. Yeah. So, white tigers. You know, back to Zizi's question a little bit ago about, you know, can you tell the species of the tiger? Orange tigers and white tigers, in a way, have been subject to the same thing over and over and over again. It's just this rampant inbreeding that you know, you can't tell the difference between them. But with white tigers, they can actually draw the lineage back to that one singular tiger that was brought here to the United States and was inbred over and over and over again. And next thing you know, we have white tigers. Now, one of the things with white tigers that many people don't realize is that white tigers, they're not natural. Unless you have 2 parents that both carry the genetic trait of leucism, and then you may get a white tiger in the wild. If that is to happen, the mother will usually dispatch of that child because it is a beacon and a threat to the rest of the family. So white tigers, they're not very common at all in the wild, which doesn't help the fact that people like to see rare things. Now, when it does come to white tigers, when they are bred, what tends to happen is that the individual who's attempting to breed the white tiger will go ahead and take 2 orange tigers that both carry this genetic trait and breed them. A lot of times they'll get a lot of orange tigers. When they get a lot of these orange tigers, what tends to happen is that you have to do something with them. Many times what happens is that they'll go ahead and they'll dispatch those tigers right then and there. They'll grow them up a little bit and sell them on the black market. They'll grow them up a little bit and sell them for parts. Yes, parts. So it's it's an incredibly disgusting trade. And then when they finally get a white tiger, for those disgusting breeders, then they're saying, oh, it's money day, right? Because those are the ones that people will pay a lot of money for. And then they'll keep going. But the other side of that, other than all the baby tigers that are essentially slaughtered because they're not white, is the mother and that's being used to breed these cats.
Hey Andy.
When this happens,
can you come check the project when you have a second, please.
There you go. When this happens, like, if you've ever heard, I think it's Priya's story, where we had to take out a 20-pound infected mass because she was bred so much. It causes cancer, it causes all sorts of bad problems with that cat. At the same time, it's just a disgusting practice to keep breeding over and over and over. I mean, nobody's built like that, not even humans. So as far as that goes, we definitely do not advocate breeding of any kind. Okay, so I saw a lot of comments in there. Daniel, you know, I'm failing on this one, man. This cat, I don't think I'm ever going to paint. I'm just going to be honest with you. As soon as I leave, I only think of Stony when it's raining really hard. So somebody's got to shoot me a message like midweek and say, Andy, go buy paint and paint Stony, and I'll be happy to go ahead and do it. So as far as that goes, I just need a reminder from somebody, and I should probably ask somebody for permission to paint Stony. But as you can see, the water level is nice and low right now. That'll only last so long. I'm hoping it pours tomorrow for the Super Bowl, but it's probably not going to. I just like to watch games that are, you know, pretty bad weather. But Stony's doing great, so we'll see at some point here. All right. So let's see who else we got. If Miss Amanda is out, I will skulk around the far edges of the tour path and see what she's up to. Bridget has had very good luck, at least she did last month, or no, in December, of not having Amanda bark at her. So maybe. Thank you, Sherry Gray. We could use as much of that as possible. Susan, I like him just the way he is too, but some sunblock wouldn't kill him, right? Starting to show some cracks in there, you know, maybe some moisturizer. Aria is sacked out. So all I have to show you of Aria right now is a couple paws. Oh, that video feed is way better. Okay, good. Did I miss any questions here? All right, so you know, just helping some people out here. Okay, I see what's going on there. Never mind. And gang, just to help you out, Jessica's question's been answered. So when somebody answers it again, it just kind of pops up to the top, and then people keep answering it, and then somebody feels like they're getting attacked. And let's move on. Let's move on. I'm not touching it. Or my direct answer to that is no. Yes, let the moderator take care of them. But again, if you do have questions, fire away. I don't think that question was in malice of any kind. I think it was an honest question, just strikes a chord with the audience, that's all. I haven't been yelled at yet, unless Amanda's on vacation again and I missed that. So anyways, here's our vacation rotation enclosure. It does a couple things. Number one, it gives our big cats a lot of room to run. Secondly, it also apparently is a great place for hundreds of vultures to sunbathe. These guys, whenever it starts to get a little warm out here, all of a sudden, vultures. Lots of vultures. Kimba is on vacay. I thought Kimba was on vacay. We miss you guys too. You guys are kind of a highlight for us. Actually, you are a highlight for us. All right, so I'm going to play the vacation audio, and if we see Kimba, we'll stop and see if we can say hi. That's Funcation. And apparently I'm blind and can't find it. Oh, there it is.
In the wild, big cats would roam hundreds of miles. They are intelligent, active creatures who prefer to hunt at dusk and dawn, but who can see very well at night. They spend their days sleeping and getting ready for the darker hours when they reign supreme over all their domain. Unfortunately, most captive situations provide far too small a space for these big cats. And even worse, they are usually locked into tiny, concrete, windowless cells called night houses during the time of day when they would most like to be out roaming. The reason they're locked up at night is because zoos aren't open at night, and they want the cats to be active when paying guests are there. In most cases, there will be one large enclosure that the public sees, and then tiny jail cells where the cats spend days at a time, so that if it's their only day to be outside, they'll be active for the paying public. At Big Cat Rescue, the cats have far more space per cat than most other facilities. But even still, it's far too small in our opinion. That's why we built the 2.5-acre vacation rotation enclosure. Each of our lions and tigers can enjoy a 2-week vacation in this open air space that has a pond, a fountain, lots of dens, tunnels, platforms, and trees to enjoy. Big cats are solitary by nature, and most of our cats prefer to live alone and vacation alone. We don't force our cats to share space or fight over food. They each have well over 1,200 square feet of space to themselves in their own cat-a-tats. But then, twice a year, they get 2 weeks vacation in this huge space. We move the cats to and from vacation via above-ground tunnels around the sanctuary. The only time there are multiple cats in the cages or on vacation together is if they've been raised together and truly enjoy the company. Anywhere that you see cats living together, they are neutered or spayed to ensure that we do not breed cats for life in cages. Even this huge vacation area is still a cage, and we do not believe that wild cats belong in captivity. We do the best we can for the cats we rescue, but the best thing all of us can do is end the trade in exotic cats by never paying to see or touch cubs.
All right, so one of the questions in here that is kind of spurring some answers is, do we go in with the cats and are they trained to like humans? Okay, so, well, when you take a look at the food chain, cats are considered an apex predator. So we do not, under any circumstances, go in there. Reason being is that, well, we are food. So that being said, is what it is. But before Kimba goes too far here, here's Kimba's audio.
Kimba is a male tiger who was rescued from the circus in Guatemala, along with 2 other tigers, Max and Simba. Kimba is the youngest, born sometime in 2017. They came to us after Guatemala passed a law banning the circus. Animal Defenders International was a major force behind passing that law. The tigers were supposed to have been turned over to authorities. Instead, Hermanos Ponce Circus went on the run. In June 2018, Animal Defenders International and authorities had found the circus and implemented the rescue mission. Because tigers are an endangered species, we needed an import permit from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to bring them here. We applied for a permit in August 2018. It took 11 months to obtain the import permit and 3 more months to obtain an export permit from Guatemalan authorities. The cats finally arrived in November 2019. They were flown into Miami on a cargo plane, and our rescue team picked them up at Miami Airport and drove them to Tampa. During the 15 months from our application to their arrival, generous donors to Big Cat Rescue helped us fund their care in Guatemala at a temporary facility operated by ADI. During the handover from the circus to ADI, the circus workers started beating Kimba viciously with an iron bar until he bled. The ADI rescuers intervened to save his life. Kimba was terrified with a bleeding leg and mouth. In circus confinement, even such powerful predators are completely at the mercy of their captors. But thanks to the visitors and donors who allow us to provide lifetime care, no one will ever harm Kimba again.
All right, so that is the story of Kimba. Okay, did I miss any questions here? Mary, that's hilarious. Somebody says Carol Baskin, and you politely answered yes. She is the owner of the Wonderful Sanctuary. Oh, so back to that one. No, we don't go in. And actually, here is a beautiful example. Let me put the camera somewhere where you can all actually see this thing and get an idea of how big this thing is. Oh man, everything's falling on me here. Trying to get creative. Stay. Or not. You know what? You do you. There we go. Okay, so if the audio goes out, I'm sorry. I'll try to make this quick. So this here, I'm sure you can all see me. This here is what is called an indestructible ball, right? It's made out of indestructible plastic. The thing is that with indestructible plastic, it's made for like elephants to stand on, something like that. It's not necessarily made for, well, a big cat. The thing is that this ball was owned by a cat named Shere Khan, which he was here. He was 800 plus pounds, giant guy. Khan was able, apparently, to pick this thing up and run with it. This ball weighs 75 pounds. So when it comes to this thing, look, these are scratch marks and teeth marks. So that could give you some indication of why we don't want to go in the cage. Additionally, where is it here? There it is. There's a couple big tooth holes here. So, yeah, and this is not thin stuff. This is a pretty thick ball. So if Khan was able to do this, and we know that in your household cat, for example, if you're playing with your household cat and it puts little cuts on your hands, these should be indicators that having a wild animal, a cat, an apex predator, or something designed to, by nature to kill things so it can survive, is not a good idea to have or physically interact with. So these are some of the reasons why we are against ownership of these cats. You know, obviously the pain and suffering that the cats endure when they are you know, bred for captivity or bred and over again. And so when it comes to things like this should be, you know, big sign, don't get a big cat. You know, and this is just a tiger playing. So, you know, it's pretty intense. All right, time to put myself back together here. Battery check, iPad check, you guys check. And away we go. £17-pound cat. That's a big cat. I mean, Marzipan and I were playing this morning, and she almost sliced up my hand. I gotta clip that cat's claws. So here's the other side of vacation. Look at this. It's a gorgeous place, especially now with the sun out. And you just give it a little bit. Once Kimba gets the zoomies, these vultures are gonna split. We don't encourage Simba to go get a free meal, but we can't stop Kimba from going and getting a free meal. So if all of a sudden Kimba feels like stalking this massive horde of birds, well, it's kind of on him. And then later we'll go in and clean up the mess. All right, so if you guys don't mind, because I think we're running a little bit behind, I'm gonna skip the tunnels. Hey. How you doing? Yeah, that's not a nice face. We're gonna leave Kimba alone. Yep. Yes, if you want to see the tunnel system, we created, a group of us got together and created an awesome video a few months ago of the tunnel system. And you can go ahead and check that out. It's pretty funny. I think I still have a scar on the top of my head from the thing. Tunnel system is made for 4-legged animals, not 2-legged people that like to stand up. The balls, what are the balls made of? A high impact polycarbonate, basically indestructible plastic. And those suckers are thick too. Mary, I've been told he does not like men, and that's just fine. Obviously, you know, we give him his space. Since I'm not a keeper, I can't give you firsthand yay or nay on that one, but yeah, I'm guessing he probably doesn't like deep voices. He had a real rough go at the circus. And we are always looking for more enrichment. So somebody put in their wildlife toy box. If anybody wants to, hop on there, buy a couple balls, send them on over. These guys love those things. Nick, it's like right here. What was that question? I'm not sure about the Kevin Richardson thing, but I am sure that there is a Nikki here. Checker chops are more of a hello.
Nikita was found when she was a year old in a crack house during a drug bust in Tennessee. She was chained to the wall with a short chain on a concrete floor, so she got no exercise and arrived here with huge swellings on her elbows that took months to heal. She was so thin that you could carry her under one arm. In addition to being underfed, she had not had a proper diet, so she had a plethora of nutritional issues to deal with as well. The authorities took her to the Nashville Zoo at Grassmere, but she had been declawed and could not live with the zoo's other lions. Big Cat Rescue agreed to take Nikita in, as well as 3 bobcats that all arrived in 2001. At age 5, she had become a tall, healthy adult lioness, but remained very lanky because she was a picky eater. That changed when our financial support grew to a point where we could afford the expensive ground meat specially designed carnivore diet we now use. Nikita loved it and filled out quickly to the 500-pound lioness you see today. When Nikita was younger, she was extremely playful and loved to roll on her back and grab her paws or try to do somersaults whenever visitors stopped by to talk with her. Now in her senior years, we still occasionally observe a slow roll onto her back for visitors.
All right. I think she's looking for a snack from her keepers there. She is pretty well in tune with the fact that I don't have anything to give her. Never do. Sorry, Nikki. Hi. Now, she is no longer 500 plus pounds. Obviously, she's getting older in years, and just like your household cat, and believe it or not, there's a lot of similarities between large cats and little cats. They start to lose a lot of weight as they get older, and so as she's getting older, she's lost a bunch of weight, which is okay. I mean, 550 pounds is pretty big to carry on any frame. All right. So we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna cut across the sanctuary here in just a second, and we will see the small cats on the Catterday walk about at 12:15 here. Yeah, as her story goes, found inside of a crack house and declawed. Now, if you're not familiar with decline, I know people do it for their household cats. I am not a fan, and here's why. Decline takes off, if you can see my finger, it's not just the nail that they pull off, right? As humans, we can lose our nail and it may never grow back, but in order to make sure that it never grows back, they cut off the first knuckle. You know, that's what cats need to deal with when you declaw them. They just cut off right there. Gross practice, and all for doing things like saving your couch and your cushions and your curtains. Come on, lame example, cat-proof your house. And if you do own a large cat, don't cut their fingers off.
Amanda, what's your location?
We're walking over to Rack Tiger.
Hey guys.
All right.
Long time no see.
Oh yeah, long time no see. All right, wave. You guys are live on Facebook. We are doing a lot of leaf cleanup here. As you can see, there's leaves all over the place. So, rake. Yes, we do not agree with touching cats. And the two biggest reasons for not touching cats. One, we don't want to get hurt. Two, it's rude. It's messed up. You wouldn't want to be touched and by random people. So why touch these guys? You know, and the only answer that we've ever gotten from people when we dig through that of, well, why touch the animal? From the breeder, it turns out, well, because people pay me so they can touch it. That's messed up. It's not respectful for the animal. You bred it so it lives in a cage. So it's wrong. So anyways, here's Manny.
Manny is a male jaguar born in 2006. He arrived at Big Cat Rescue in December 2017 from Omaha, Nebraska's AZA-accredited Henry Doorly Zoo. The zoo was in the process of constructing new natural habitats, and some of their current exhibits were being replaced. When Big Cat Rescue learned that the zoo was searching for a GFAS-accredited sanctuary to provide a new home for Manny and for Natalia the Amur leopard, we immediately offered to take them and became their forever home. Jaguars are the largest of South America's big cats. They once roamed the entire continent all the way north to the U.S.-Mexican border. Today, significant numbers of jaguars are found only in remote regions of South and Central America, particularly in the Amazon basin. Unlike most other exotic cats, jaguars are very aquatic and good swimmers. They have even been known to swim across the Panama Canal searching for prey. The name jaguar comes from the Native American word jaguar, which means he who kills with one leap. Jaguars are powerful hunters. Rivers provide prey in the form of fish, turtles, and caimans. They also eat larger animals like deer. They sometimes climb trees to prepare an ambush, killing their prey with one powerful bite.
All right, so Manny's story. So anyways, yeah, no touchy at all. And there was a comment in here, I wanted to address it. Ah, okay, the one about can we set them free? No. When you take a look at cats, as I've said previously, they're purpose-built for their environment, but even though they're purpose-built for their environment in the region of the world where they originate from, they still need to be taught how to do basic things. When a cat is bred for captivity, its mother can't teach it those things, even if it stays with its mother. And one of those things that tends to happen is the lack of ability to learn how to hunt. If the cat cannot learn how to hunt on its own, it will then go ahead and look to the people that feed it for that food, right? So let's say we were told we had to release all of the cats into the wild, which will never happen. But let's say it did. If it did, we now release these cats into the wild. We then go ahead and start to see cats pop up in the middle of nowhere looking for food. They'll walk right at the people. If they don't, try to turn people into food, they'll sit there and beg, and then eventually somebody's going to call the authorities, and the authorities only know to do one of two things. A, capture it, which is going to be incredibly difficult, or two, put it down. You just can't release it out in the wild. It just doesn't have the tools to pull it off. All right. Now, there are programs around in other parts of the world that have attempted this, and when it comes to success rates, it's not great. And I'm walking down Serval Row here, and all the servals are they're fed and happy and somewhere else. Hey, a bird. It's the most amount of movement around here. So after the cats get fed around here, they just kind of go hide. And kind of to add on to that whole can we release something, put yourself in your own cat's shoes. Your cat, if you release it out into the backyard, which again, I do not advocate outdoor cats. Just, survival rate takes a steep dive. But your cat comes back, it might have a bird, but did it eat it? It hasn't been taught to. So that being said, it comes back into the house because it knows its energy can be saved because human will feed the cat. Then again, it might bring a bird on back and give it to you because it feels that you need to eat. Man, I'm not seeing anybody down here in Serval Row. Bobcats are sleeping. There's a small butt up on the platform up there. Bridget will say hi to Smalls a little bit later. I don't know where anybody is. I think Flint and Biscuit are inside of there. Oh, nope, they're right over here. Hey, guys! What's going on? They're under their platform there. So they will probably definitely bolt out a little bit later when Bridget's with us and we can go behind the barricade. But it's turned out to be a rather nice day. We've had I know this is going to sound pretty lame, but it's been cold here. We've had some high 30s, 40, 50 degree weather. And for us down here, that's actually really chilly. For you guys up north, I'm so sorry. But especially for you guys up in the New England area, getting hammered with that nor'easter, and I guess there's another one winding up. But yeah, we can't go and do the concrete molds and all that stuff until the weather gets a little bit better. See keepers.
Keepers, this is Angie. I'm leaving property to run an errand. If you need assistance, please radio Becky.
Let's see if Tutters is out. He's always good and reliable to say hi to.
Copy.
Does Flint have audio yet? I'm sure he does. Actually, I think he does. Carol shot me a message, I think, a couple weeks ago saying that she loaded it in. But we are rushing back to the vehicle to set up for the Catterday walkabout here. So I'm just leaving the camera on. And see if we see Tut. Alright. Tutters. Ooh, negative 20. question, how many cats does Carol own? I think if you were to ask Carol that question directly, and I can't speak for her, but just knowing Carol, she would probably tell you that the sanctuary houses these cats, and she would probably also tell you something to the effect of she doesn't even own her cat. Carol is very much cats are free spirits sort of thing, so you would have to ask her that directly. Not seeing Tutters. All right, so we'll see if we see Duchess, and then we're going, and Priya, and then we're going to set up for our Saturday walkabout. Now, if you don't know about the Saturday walkabout, every day or every Saturday at 12:15, and this was actually going to change, so we'll tell you about this on the Saturday walkabout. So you just go over to YouTube, or just type in dailybigcat.com, and that will take you over to our YouTube channel. Once you're there, you can then go ahead and watch us. But we'll give you the update on the whole Saturday walkabout thing in a little bit. And as you can see, large cats, just as lazy as your household cat. Duchess hasn't moved. Which cat is my favorite? My favorite cat here at Big Cat Rescue is probably going to be Beecher. Beecher and I have had long talks. He is quite a philosophical little kitten, or big small cat. Let's see. Okay. Any other questions? All right. I will say hello to Carol and Howard for you guys if I see them. Okay, so that is that. Big Cat Public Safety Act. I need to get with Deb on to check the status of that. I don't know what's going with it with the change in administration and new year. So I'll get caught up on that. Bridget and I will talk about that at 12:15. So aside from that, gang, I will see you all 12:15 at dailybigcat.com. Head on over there. You can see Bridget and I walking around the sanctuary. Bridget's my wife, and we can go behind the barricade because Bridget can do that and I can't. So anywho, I will see you guys in just a little bit. 12:15 dailybigcat.com.